Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel and to another plan with me. This week I'm planning for the week that Plannerface turned 8. It was my shop anniversary week, and for that reason I'm using the Dopamine Decor collection, which was the exclusive art collection that I released for the anniversary, and it came out during the sale, so I really wanted to use it for this week to commemorate the occasion. I've got the full SVK, I did an extra colour add-on which is in the purple, I've got the washi add-on, and I think the toolbox add-on. Then I'm using the holographic like twinkle star foil pack and really struggling to show you the holographic. I did change some lighting like a bit further into the video, but I just wanted to leave in the fact that I was really struggling to get the holo to shine. I did move my lights a couple of weeks ago, and all the other foil colours show up much better, but holo looks weird. And then I ended up using my phone as a torch, I think, to like try and get the holo to shine a bit more, and it did actually help, but I don't do that until we start like the day-by-day plans. So I just trimmed my bottom washi in half because I'm using the 15mm add-on, and then I put my date numbers on my date covers, and yeah, doing my base in my 7x9 Tilly journals. It's like the hourly layout that she does, but I asked her to take the hours off so it doesn't have like the printed hours, so it's basically like a vertical without the boxes being split up, because normally they'd be split into 3 sections. So this week was a really busy week. I was finalising things for the anniversary sale, which was on the Friday. Sometimes I do the sale, I think, on the Thursday, but I started it on the Friday this time. The actual anniversary is the 7th, I believe. I have this every year where I'm like, what is the actual date? And I think it's the 7th. I won't go into this story because it's really boring and I'm sure I've told it before, but I basically like had to pick a new date because I forgot the official anniversary date, I think. So yeah, I'm just putting down my headers, my full boxes. I put the little summary in the sidebar as Plannerface turns 8, although it kind of looks a bit like a 0 because the top circle on the 8 is really tiny. I'm using custom scripts from my shop. I think this is maybe one of the newer fonts. I did add some a couple of weeks ago, I think. So I'm not quite sure what this one is like numbered, but you'll be able to find it if you go on the custom script listing. And now we're into the plans. So this is where I did change the light, so you'll see there's like a bit of a shadow, but I think the holo shines a bit more. Like you can see on the icons, it actually looks holographic, not just like flat. So on Monday, the first thing I marked was that I finished the Dopamine Decor collection, which is the one that you're seeing. This was custom art that we, what's the word? When you get something made, that we commissioned from Nyx, who is a really talented artist that we've worked with for like many years. But I thought it should be perfect for this collection, and Dopamine Decor is like a trend that I saw, I think first on TikTok, but it's basically like choosing like decor pieces and things in your home that bring you happiness when you see them, and I really am trying to like add things like that to my own home, like rather than buying, well, obviously like you want things to look cohesive together, but rather than just buying things that I think will kind of look good, I'm like, what do I actually want in my house? So I really like that kind of concept. After that, I marked that we did the school run for our nephew, which is always really fun. We get to see what he's been up to, and it's just really nice to like see him. Then I marked that I spilt chocolate on my dungarees. So I think they're like a forest green colour. I don't really wear them that much because I do find dungarees a bit of a faff in terms of like when you go to the toilet and stuff, you have to like undo them, and I know you can slip them off, but it's just another step that I don't need. But I spilt chocolate on them and I was really sad about it, so I marked that with a little squidge sticker. Then I made some albums this day because I think I'd not long had my delivery of large albums, and I was watching The Gentleman on Netflix, which is a series that me and Tom did start. He wasn't really that into it, so he was like, you can watch it on your own, like you can finish it. And I haven't finished it. I watched like a couple of episodes and never finished it, so I really should go back and do that. But I quite enjoyed it. It's a little bit different to what I would normally watch. It's more of like a comedy, and like, I would watch a comedy, but it's just a little bit different to my normal. I don't really know how to explain it, but I did quite like it, so I marked that. Then I did a little evening walk with Ari. I think it was maybe quite hot at this time, so we weren't really able to walk him in the day, I think. So I just marked that with a little once more with love dog. Then I had to send some files to Alex, who is like the owner of a laser cutting shop near me, and I've done it before where I've bought files on Etsy and she's quoted me for like the materials and the labour, and she's cut them for me and delivered them, which is really good. Like, I would love a laser cutter, but I don't have one, so she fulfills all of my laser cutting requirements. Although I would love a laser cutter. I think I'd be unstoppable if I had a laser cutter. Like, I would just make so many weird things. But that was that. And then I scheduled a loaf in my bread machine. If you've seen not last week, maybe the week before's Plan With Me, where I got my bread maker. Very big on making bread at this point. I haven't really made one in a while. I think, I don't want to say that the ship has sailed, but I haven't made one in a while. So maybe it's something that will ebb and flow. So I put a bread on to like cook overnight. Then on to Tuesday, I woke up and chose chaos apparently. I had to go and meet Sarah for coffee, and I don't think I got up with enough time, because I was then like, oh, why don't I make egg and soldiers with the bread that I cooked overnight? And I did the eggs in the air fryer, which is fine. I always boil eggs in the air fryer. If I do them on like bake mode at 130 for 13 minutes, I find that's my like perfect timing. So I did that, and then so this is where everything goes wrong. I'm really bad at slicing bread, and obviously like bread machine bread is not pre-sliced, and I think I just need to get a sharper knife and like really look after it and not put it through the dishwasher and like sharpen it again like when it needs it. But I battered with my bread, ended up cutting these like really thick slices, had to like toast them, and I was in a rush to leave, and I was making it for me and Tom, and I was just like, there's too much going on. So I just marked that I did a stressful egg and soldiers. Then I met Sarah and Elise for coffee in Costa near their house, and we sat and had a little bit of a chat. And I remember this day the roof was leaking and they ended up putting a bucket near where we were sat, and there was also a really, really cute like guide dog in training. I think they were a guide dog, an assistance dog anyway, sat behind us, and it was so cute. Then when I got home, I had a bit of a design day, which was really good and well needed for the anniversary. And then I had to post my Eras Tour dress to Joanne because she was altering it for me, which is very kind of her. Thank you, Joanne. So I had to pin it at the length I wanted and post it to her so that she could do that. Then Tom wasn't feeling very well this day, so I just marked it with a sad little dog from Fox and Cactus. I don't remember why, but I don't think it was quite fleeting at least. And then I marked that I started oh no, I do remember why. This was not actually that fleeting because I slept in the spare room. So I was so nervous that I was going to be ill this week, and obviously like anniversary week is like the worst time for me to be ill because it's probably before Black Friday, like one of my busiest weeks of like the shop year. So I was like not risking being ill, so I marked that I slept in the spare room, and I've never slept in my spare room or my spare bed, and I was like, I have no idea if this is going to be comfortable, because it's one of those beds that's like a sofa but it just folds flat. I think they're called click-clack beds, and after I bought mine I did read that apparently they're not the most comfortable, but I actually slept okay. It's a little bit hard, but we have got like a topper on it and it's not too bad. And then I also marked on Tuesday that I started making friendship bracelets for the Eras Tour. So, because at this point, our first show was like 2 weeks away maybe. So I felt like I started making them quite late, but I did make a fair few like in the end, so it was fine. Then on Wednesday, the first thing I marked was that my eyes hurt, which was like, I mean, actually now I've found out that I have allergies, and apparently my eyes are very irritated, so that's good that I now know, but I assume this was maybe the beginning of that. Then I marked that I got the blade off the guillotine, which I've been needing to do for a while, because when we swapped the blades, maybe even last year, it was such a nightmare to swap the top blade that I never did the bottom blade because there's two and they kind of cut together. But I managed to get the bottom blade off this time and swapped it, and it took me about maybe an hour. And I marked like what a pain, because it really was a pain, and because Tom wasn't very well I kind of did it on my own. And I don't know why I chose to do it this week. Like, I really love picking the worst time to do anything. I'm sorry if you can hear Ari like snoring. Oh my god, he's like properly asleep. That's very cute. And then I marked that I did more anniversary prep with a squidge. I'm just going to leave Harry because I feel like I don't want to wake him up. Then I ordered a balloon for the anniversary because I really wanted to do a picture with a big purple 8 balloon. And I had this whole thing where I was like, can I find helium? Like, how much is helium? The answer is quite expensive. I had no idea. And I also didn't really know where to get it. And someone said that our local newsagents had helium, but I nipped in and I was like, do you do helium? And they were like, not anymore. So that's a shame. So I ended up blowing it up manually by like oxygen, or I don't know, like air, because I was only holding the balloon for a picture, so I didn't really need it to be helium, and that actually worked well, so that was good, and it stayed blown up for ages. Then I marked that we watched The Sixth Sense. So I'm not sure if I've mentioned, I probably have, that I'm trying to make my way through the M. Night Shyamalan movies, and we were on The Sixth Sense this day, and I marked, well, kind of, I don't know if you can spoiler movies that are super old, but I just marked that the twist was good. And I think this is probably my favourite one that we've watched, which I don't think is surprising because I feel like it's the most like, maybe one of the most iconic ones. And I'm a bit worried that it's downhill from here, but I really enjoyed The Sixth Sense, and it wasn't that scary. Like, I've actually been really afraid to watch it because I know it's like, oh, it's a scary film. It's really not. So I enjoyed that. Then on to Thursday, Tom was feeling much better this day and he decided to trim our hedge. So clearly feeling a lot better because like trimming the hedge is no mean feat. So he went out and did that in the like front garden, and Ari watched from the window, which was very cute. Our neighbours actually kindly lent us this really big, like heavy duty step. I mean, I say step, but it's like an alternative to a ladder, and it's like really sturdy, and it was so much better than our little like step stool thing that we had. So that was good. Then I marked that I finished listings this day for the anniversary. And then I did some laptop work, so kind of scheduling things, emails, and just like pre-sale stuff. All the things that I really hope I haven't forgot when the sale begins. I then got a bit confused with my scripts. I'm not sure if I put them on the sheet in the wrong order or if I just like picked the wrong one up, but I ended up putting something for Friday on Thursday, so I'm just rearranging that. But thank you, removable matte paper, for your service. Then so this is funny, I'd got some ham. I think we'd like had like rolls for dinner or something, and I had ham, and I was gonna give a little bit of extra ham to Ari, and I think I like passed it to Tom to give to Ari, and he ate it. So I marked that Tom ate Ari's ham, and he did receive compensation in the form of new ham. In a couple of days' time, I did buy him some ham, and he did receive that. So we have rectified the situation, but it was very sad for Aristotle this day. Then, for some reason, Tom saw this thing on, I don't know where he saw it, on like Twitter or something. It was like a simultaneous equation, and I think people were like being really confused by it, and we were like, we can solve this simultaneous equation. So we tried to solve it for literally like an hour and a half, and it was like 3 equations, and I don't think I ever did three simultaneous equations at school. I think we only ever did like 2. And I just kept going around in circles. I don't know if I ever like would have solved it on my own. We had to look at the solution, but very confusing. Then I just marked that I was tired. I think I did laptop work in the evening, like while we watched TV, and that's why I used a stick with the Planco girl as well. So moving on to, oh, whoops, I just hit something. Moving on to Friday, it was the day of the sale and my anniversary, so I marked happy anniversary Plannerface with a fox and cactus cat, and I did take listing photos this morning and just to like finish up the listings for the sale. So lately I've been making listings as I go through the week and then like dropping the photos in on Friday, which is just a little bit less stressful than having to do like all of the listings at once. So I marked that, and then Tom did pack weekly kits for me today. He helped me collate them. I think I'd like already ran them through the collator, but then we're still like double checking that everything is collated correctly, and like to be honest it like pretty much always is, so I don't really need to do that anymore, but like trust issues with the collator still. So Tom collated those for me, which was a big help. I then collated some foil myself because we did a bit of a restock, I think, and I had to make sure I'd got some foil like saved aside for the tiered freebies. So I marked that with a little productivity stick with the Planco. I can't remember what her name is. Does she have a name? The character? I don't know. Oh, I feel like she does. That's really annoying that I don't remember it. Anyway, one of those. Then I marked that the sale began at 7 p.m. I feel like Ari's like making the most noise, and the rabbits have been noisy as well, so we're just getting a very realistic voiceover. So the sale started at 7 p.m. and I marked that with a Coffee Monsters Co. star icon. Thank you if you placed an order during the sale. I know it was like a couple of months ago now, but still a big thank you if you supported Plannerface in the sale. And then for dinner I had a code on Uber, and we never get like we get codes often on Uber, but they're always for like a very select amount of restaurants, and they're normally not really like ones that are that near us either. But I really like Fire Away, which is a pizza chain that it's not quite the same as like Domino's or Pizza Hut. It feels a little bit more homemade. So we ordered from them, and they do like good deals, and then we were able to stack like our Uber discount on top as well, so it ended up being like really cheap. So we got that for dinner, and then we watched The Others, which is another M. Night Shyamalan film. I think this was actually on like live TV, and we were able to like rewind it and start it from the beginning, and this was actually quite a good one as well. So maybe it goes downhill from here, but I really enjoyed that one. I can't really remember what happened, but I remember liking it. Then on to Saturday, I marked that I did a stock take and worked on some restocks. I do try and do this during the sale, so especially if anything new has gone out of stock, I try and like deal with it like during the sale rather than afterwards. Then this day I realised that I had not taken my photo with my purple 8 balloon, so I got Tom to help me do that, and then I got a really cute one with Ari as well, so that was fun. I didn't know if he was going to be afraid of the balloon or not, and he wasn't keen on like the noise it made, but he did pose for a photo, so well done Aristotle. Then I marked that we did a bit of a food shop. I think I'd ordered it a few days before and I just like had it delivered, so we didn't really do the food shop, but we accepted the food shop. Then I caught up on some washing, which was very much needed. I think just like during big work weeks, that's like obviously that's why things fall by the wayside, and I had to catch up on laundry. Then I marked that we watched the qualifying for the Formula 1. So this was the Canada race, and it was so rainy on the actual race. I think qualifying was rainy as well, I'm not sure. But this was super weird because the difference between P1 and P2 was 0.000. I think they were the exact same. I mean, I assume like if they did another decimal place, then maybe there would have been a difference at some point, but I think they did it to the nearest, I guess, 3 decimal points, and there was no difference. So I don't actually know how they chose who was first. I think it's just the person that got the time first. So that was interesting anyway. I didn't know that was the thing. I don't know how often that happens either. It feels like it can't be often. And then in the evening we watched the Ashley Madison documentary on Netflix. So on to Sunday, I marked that we had a McDonald's breakfast in the morning, and then I worked on editing the vlog. I also posted a reel this day. I think this was maybe an album reel. I can't remember, but I posted one, so that was good. Then I worked on more restocks. I still had some cutting to do from the previous day, and I think some new ones had come in, so I did that. And then I had previously ordered, and only like a couple of days ago, there was a Taylor Swift merch drop for the Tortured Poets department, and there was a fountain pen, and I was like, that's interesting. And I think it was like £20, which I think is on like the more affordable side of fountain pens, and I was honestly just curious if it was going to be like good or not. So I ordered it, and it came on Sunday, which is weird in general just for like Royal Mail to deliver on Sunday, but they did. So I was playing around with my new fountain pen and I really liked it. I've never used one before. I mean, well, actually, that's a lie. I did have, I think it was a Lamy Safari in like 2017. Never got to grips with it. But having used this one now, and I mean, this is obviously a cheap one, I think maybe my lamy was a little bit faulty because it was super scratchy. I don't know if I damaged the tip or if it just was damaged, or I don't know what was wrong with it. But I really like the Taylor Swift one. So I was chatting to Beth about fountain pens because she is a fountain pen girly. And I know she's got me a purple fountain pen for my birthday, which I'm very excited about. So I'm going to be using a fountain pen soon. I've got the Taylor Swift one, but since using it, it's started to leak a bit, and I'm a bit nervous about using it, especially with my Filofax. And I really want like sepia coloured ink instead of black ink. I think it's gonna be really fun. So that's my new thing. I was like, is this gonna be a new hobby? I think so. Then I marked that we watched the Canadian Grand Prix, and this is my new way of marking the results. So I used like a 3-heart checklist box, and I've got like P1, P2 and P3, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to cover the heart or leave it, but in the end I didn't cover the heart. But I've got like 3 little lines to mark the poll results, so I think that looks really cute, and I've got a little like car as well. And then I'm just putting some of the extra decorative stars just in like little gaps and just where they fit, really, just to add a bit of extra sparkle to the spread. But yeah, this is my completed spread, and these are the sheets I've got left, so like quite a lot of the kit. And I don't think I used, well actually I used quite a lot of the full pack, but I've been saving my extras in a little album now, so I think at some point I'm going to have enough to like do a spread without any, like just from extras and not using a new foil pack, which is exciting. But yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed my plan with me, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!